Optimism to the outside. And they're off. And Current Affair got a flyer out of the gate, but is now taken back. We'll get a good trip as Comeback Girl and Cooey go on to set the pace. Just in behind them, Into the Hall takes third. They are followed by Robin with a Y. Current Affair now in mid-pack, 6 lengths off the lead. It's another length back to Sweet Gem, who's asked to get closer. Heads in Beds is down at the rail. The 2 trailers, Pristine and Reckless Optimism. Comeback Girl passes the half-mile pole, leading by a length over Cooey in second. It's another length and a half Into the Hall, getting a little closer, and Robin with a Y on the inside. Current Affair is in between those two, 4 lengths off the lead. Another 2, Heads in Beds, Sweet Gem. It's 4 lengths back to the 2 trailers, Pristine, and Reckless Optimism continues at the back. They're at the top of the stretch, and Comeback Girl's been in control throughout. Lets it out a notch, opens up 3. Robin with a Y on the inside of Cooey. There's clear sailing for Current Affair, who's finishing with interest, coming to the 16th pole, and it's Comeback Girl. Current Affair moves into second. Comeback Girl, very sharp from the moment the gate opened, scores under Armando Ayuso. Current Affair second. Heads in Beds with a good debut rally in third, and then came Cooey. Big Juanito completes the line. And they're off. Even start. Valentine's Candy is going out for the lead. Looks Rare wasn't quick out of the gate, but is now in a line for second. Pete's Old Fashioned is down at the rail. Resemblance backs off. Big Juanito Extreme outside. And Mighty Kai is down at the rail. Compact Field heads to the 6 furlong pole, chasing Valentine's Candy, who sets the tempo and leads it by a half a length. Getting pressure now from Big Juanito with Looks Rare sitting just behind them in third. Pete's Old Fashioned is down at the rail, fourth, followed by Resemblance and another half length to Mighty Kai. They run past the 5/8 pole, and it's Valentine's Candy and Big Juanito 1-2 to the half-mile pole. Looks Rare racing in third. Mighty Kai trying to make an early bid, moving up 3 wide, and down at the rail, Pete's Old Fashioned. Resemblance 4 wide and last into the far turn. It's Valentine's Candy, Big Juanito on the outside, and Valentine's Candy. A length back to Mighty Kai, trying to come after the top pair third as Valentine's Candy shakes away from Big Juanito. Big Juanito the first to back up. Mighty Kai now comes to engage Valentine's Candy. Just behind them, Pete's Old Fashioned is in between horses. Looks Rare, far outside. Resemblance there at the top of the stretch. And it's Mighty Kai just in front. Valentine's Candy. Pete's Old Fashioned is now coming, and Pete's Old Fashioned takes the lead from Mighty Kai at the 16th pole. Pete's Old Fashioned. The daily double to Armando Ayuso. Mighty Kai second, Resemblance finished third. "27 minutes to post." And they're off. A day to remember with a beautiful break straight to the front. Arrakis now comes to challenge. So these two have sped clear. So the Magic will be the last one to load. They're in the gate. And they're off. Clean start. Wound Up is going right to the front, and Grubauer likes that lead too, and he comes away with Sharp Speed second. They're followed by Hard to Figure third. Feel the Magic is fourth as Wound Up sprints clear. At the rail, Rexford is fifth, 6 lengths off the lead, 4 in front of Left Hand Man and Positivity. It's Wound Up to the half-mile pole in charge. 4-length lead on Grubauer second. Another 3 back to Feel the Magic. Hard to Figure. Rexford 7 lengths off that front runner. Left-hand man and Positivity wound up. Grubauer's coming at him now within a length and a half of Wound Up. Wound Up still doing it very easily on the front end, however, and widens once again. It's a 2.5 length lead with a 1/4 mile to go. Wound Up, Grubauer, 6 back, Hard to Figure in third there at the top of the stretch. Wound Up drifts out, has a 2-length lead. Grubauer is not done. He's fighting bravely and trying to get to him. And Hard to Figure grinding away at the rail. A 16th to go. Wound Up and Grubauer both on big winning streaks. And fittingly, they'll come for the wire together. Wound Up holding on. Wound Up wins his 6th in a row and gives Librado Baroccio his 100th U.S. win. What an amazing claim. Grubauer lost nothing in defeat. And they're off. Very even start. The White Lady is in and amongst them. Corporal Violet, Paradise Lake, Rosalie May on the far outside, but it's the White Lady who shows a lot more speed today and cruises to the front by the stands the first time. Umberto Rispoli has the favorite in front by a neck. Rosalie May is up alongside. Defiance is 4 deep. Star of the Night is racing 1 from the outside. They're followed by Corporal Violet. Down at the rail, Paradise Lake is second to last, and the early trailer is Esmeralda. They're covered by 7 lengths as they round the first turn. There's a new leader, and it's Rosalie May. Rosalie May goes on. Star of the Night, a length and a half back second. They're followed by the White Lady, comfortable in third, and Defiance is just outside of her. Paradise Lake and Corporal Violet are side by side, and Esmeralda continues at the back. They're heading to the half-mile pole, and it's Juan Hernandez and Rosalie May cruising along up top, a 2-length uncontested lead. Star of the Night in second. The White Lady is down on the rail in third. Defiance still races in fourth. Now has 4 lengths to make up into the far turn. Paradise Lake, Corporal Violet, and Esmeralda is still at the back. 8 lengths covers the field midway on the far turn. Rosalie May, the controlling speed. The White Lady is waiting for racing room. She's currently on the inside of Star of the Night, finds a seam now. Rosalie May cuts the corner and turns for home. The White Lady set down, has 2.5 to make up, and Paradise Lake has surfaced with a good bid in the center of the course. They're in the final furlong. The White Lady and Paradise Lake coming to overhaul Rosalie May late on the outside. Paradise Lake with good momentum. Paradise Lake gets up under Frankie Dettori. The White Lady was second. Rosalie May third. Photo for fourth between Esmeralda and Defiance. They're off. A Day to Remember with a beautiful break straight to the front. Arrakis now comes to challenge. So these two have sped clear. Cuban Confusion settles 4 lengths back under a nice hold third, and 6 hoof, 7 hoof at the back of the field. Arrakis takes him down the back stretch, pressed by A Day to Remember, who's a neck away second. It's 3 more to Cuban Confusion, who's getting closer in third, very willing. And another 2 back to 6 hoof, 7 hoof. They move toward the far turn. It's Arrakis, San Antonio Fresu just in front, chased by A Day to Remember, who goes to put more pressure on him second. Cuban Confusion, 2.5 or 3 off the pace, 4 clear of 6 hoof, 7 hoof. No change in the running order. Arrakis and A Day to Remember continue to do battle. Cuban Confusion trying to come after them, has 3 to make up at the top of the stretch. It's Arrakis digging in. Arrakis by 2. A Day to Remember comes right back, and A Day to Remember smothers Arrakis at the 16th pole and opens up. A Day to Remember strides out nicely to score by 2.5. Cuban Confusion got up for second in front of Arrakis. They're in the gate. And they're off. Beautiful start. Joint Venture is going for the lead. Mega Moon has speed. Moose Mitchell in between them. And the pace is honest in the opening stages. Sakil comes away in fourth. Navajo Warrior now moves into contention, takes that fourth spot, and he's in a good position too, 4 lengths off the lead. Down at the rail, Mongolian Max. The mare taking on the boys is Jubilant Joni between those two. And a gap of 4 to Trusty Rusty. Less than 6 furlongs to go. And Moose Mitchell is the leader, pressed by Mega Moon in second. They are followed by Joint Venture. Antonio Fresu has the favorite, Navajo Warrior in the blue cap fourth, 3 lengths off the lead as they head toward the half-mile pole. Sakil moves up next, followed by Jubilant Joni, right together with Mongolian Max, and a 3-wide Trusty Rusty. 8 lengths covers the field. There's less than a half-mile to go. Moose Mitchell has been in front every step of the way, pressed by Mega Moon. The odds-on favorite, Navajo Warrior, gets his cue now and is going after the new leader, Mega Moon. Mega Moon gets the jump, immediately tackled by Navajo Warrior, moving into second. Moose Mitchell is back to third. They are followed by Mongolian Max, a quarter of a mile to go. It's Mega Moon just in front, and he turns for home right next to Navajo Warrior. Navajo Warrior lengthens his stride and puts his head in front, now puts a length on Mega Moon, and opens up through the stretch. It's Navajo Warrior, too strong for the competition. Under a perfect ride from Fresu, Navajo Warrior wins by 3. Mega Moon was clearly second best. Moose Mitchell gamely held third in front of Trusty Rusty. No show Sammy Joe for Graham Motion and Flavian Pratt. Goes back in. And they're off in the gamely. And No Show Sammy Joe bounces out of there pretty quickly, but it's Be Your Best with the finest natural early speed, and she gallops through the stretch, taking command at once and taken in hand early by Arad Ortiz Jr. No Show Sammy Joe will track from second, and Public Assembly is third in the opening stages. Expensive Queen is fourth, 5 lengths off the pace. It's another 3 to Liguria, racing on the outside of Lady Claypool, and Kinjani is at the back of the field. Be Your Best with a very easy lead, cruising along, 2-length advantage, tracked intently by No Show Sammy Joe. It's a gap of 4 to Public Assembly, who's by herself in third, an Expensive Queen a length and a half behind her. Liguria, Lady Claypool, and Kinjani. Be Your Best goes to the half-mile pole, leading the way, hounded by No Show Sammy Joe, who lets her know that she's right off her flank in second. Still 4 to Public Assembly. Expensive Queen in the orange colors makes her move on the outside of her. Those two racing side by side as Be Your Best trying to spurt clear once again. Liguria has 10 lengths to make up. Lady Claypool, Kinjani is far back, a quarter to go, and Be Your Best is threatening to blow them away at the top of the stretch. Opens up 4. Public Assembly is angled out. In the center, it's Liguria and Lady Claypool inside the 8th pole, and Be Your Best with a 6-length lead. Liguria is trying her best, as is the very honest Lady Claypool, but Be Your Best dominates the gamely, wins by 3.5 while wrapped up. Lady Claypool was second, Liguria third, and Expensive Queen finished fourth. Wood Gold Cup. And they're off in the Hollywood Gold Cup. And Midnight Mammoth goes straight to the front. Paxa Wallop is up close in the early going, matching strides with Midnight Mammoth. Tarantino is close, so is Skippy Long. Stocking Extensive goes one from the rail. Il Bellator is off the pace. He's 5 lengths off them, and Arrow the Great is at the back of the field. Paxa Wallop racing off the rail, leaving room for Tarantino, and Midnight Mammoth makes it 3 virtually across the track. Extensive and Skippy Long Stocking are racing side by side. Arrow the Great has made it over to the rail, just 4 lengths off the lead, and Il Bellator is outside of him. It's Raylu Gutierrez and Paxa Wallop in charge past the 6 furlong pole in the Hollywood Gold Cup. They lead it by a length to Midnight Mammoth, who cuts into that margin second. Tarantino joined by Skippy Longstocking, who's able to rake kindly off the pace today with 3 to make up, heading toward the half-mile pole. Flavien Prat has Extensive, 2 lengths behind that pair. He's joined by Il Bellator and Arrow the Great. Less than a half mile to go, and Paxa Wallop continues to lead. Midnight Mammoth is called on now, set down, trying to close the gap on Paxa Wallop. He's fully extended. Skippy Long Stocking now makes his move. It's a 3-wide bid as Midnight Mammoth takes the lead away from Paxa Wallop. Midnight Mammoth running a big race once again, joined by Skippy Long Stocking. In behind them, Extensive has 3 to make up. They're at the top of the stretch. Herad Ortiz asking Skippy Longstocking to go by the big Midnight Mammoth. They pass the 8th pole head and head. Skippy Longstocking, Midnight Mammoth brave but a neck behind, and Skippy Longstocking starts to edge clear late. Add the Hollywood Gold Cup to Skippy Longstocking's tremendous resume. Second to Midnight Mammoth. Extensive was third. Tarantino finished fourth. The 8-year-old Speedy Goliad. We're in the gate. And they're off in the Shoemaker Mile. It was a beautiful start and an even one, too. Cabo Spirit now asserts himself and goes out for the lead. Goliad immediately takes second as they pass the stands. Then Mi Hermano Ramon, who is racing just outside of Zio Joe. The gray is Seminole Chief, who's down on the inside, 5 lengths off Goliad, who has now sprinted clear. Then King of Gosford rating off the pace. Seal Team is just inside of him, Formidable Man, and Atitlan at the back of the field. Goliad has 1 way to go, and that's on the front end, and he's opened up 4 lengths on Cabo Spirit second. Another 3, Mi Hermano Ramon is well spotted third. Zio Joe takes fourth, heading to the half-mile pole. Then it's Seminole Chief. King of Gosford is just outside of Seal Team. Formidable Man in the pink has about a dozen to make up, and a Tietlin behind him. Goliad, Cabo Spirit, 2.5 behind in second. Mi Hermano Ramon remains in third. Then comes Zio Joe, who's 5 off the pace. Another 3 back to King of Gosford and Formidable Man. They're at the top of the stretch. Cabo Spirit comes after Goliad. Mi Hermano Ramon is cut loose in the center. And King of Gosford is starting to storm home as well as Formidable Man, both of whom are absolutely flying. Cabo Spirit, Mi Hermano Ramon, King of Gosford's getting to them. King of Gosford, perfectly timed by Flavien Prat to win the Shoemaker Mile. Mi Hermano Ramon and Cabo Spirit. They're in the gate. And they're off. Rocket start for approval rating, who goes straight to the front. Bottom dollar, Veronaway is up close, and here comes Calm Down Kimmy to engage the favorite. Approval rating to the half-mile pole, and Calm Down Quickie is slightly quicker. Veronaway, 2 off the pace in third. Tapatia racing in between horses. Bottom dollar is fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. Then comes Waiting for My Cue. Sella Hall, 3 lengths clear of C Plum Run. It's another 4 to the gray. Club Stiletto, who was just passed by Reckless Ride. Approaching the quarter pole, they're going at it up top. It's approval rating on the inside, and Calm Down Kimmy. They've pulled 5 lengths clear of Runaway in third. Sella Hall hugs the rail, trying to mount a bid from that third spot, and is doing so inside the final 1/8 of a mile. Approval rating and Calm Down Kimmy. Approval rating, Calm Down Kimmy. It's Asa Espinoza and Kyle Frey in another head-and-head battle. Approval rating holding on. Approval rating beats Calm Down Kimmy. Sella Hall was third. Reckless Ride finished fourth. The favorite is definitely keyed up in the gate. 6-5 for Winning Patriot. And they're off. High King is out very alertly. So is Zagreus and the Pink Silks coming through to take the lead. Keep Dancing Nick. Winning Patriot moves up now between those two to take second. Fleet Bratato and Sogno Divino in the Blue Silks is just behind the battle up top. It's a gap of 3 to Irish Element. Smooth Whiskey going down, racing on the inside of Shapoval, who's 10 lengths off the pace. Then Royal Vanguard between horses. Fight Back is down at the rail. And outside of that pair is Maxville. They swing onto the backstretch. Armando Ayuso looking for his third on the day. Leads it by 1.5 lengths aboard Zagreus. Gets it his way in front by 1 length to Keep Dancing Nick in second. And Winning Patriot now puts his chestnut head into that second spot. High King is racing fourth with a half-mile left to go. Has 4 to make up. Down at the rail, Irish Element with Sogno Divino in between horses. Shapoval is down on the inside of rivals. Has 7 lengths to come as the field moves into the far turn. Outside of him comes Fleet Bratato, racing 2 lengths clear of Fight Back. Then it's Maxville racing on the outside of Royal Vanguard, and Smooth Whiskey going down there at the top of the stretch. And Winning Patriot trying to get to Zagreus. Zagreus shakes loose though and has a 3-length lead. Winning Patriot trying to cut into the margin, and here's Sogno Divino down at the rail. Fight Back is coming with a big run. Can he get through? Fight Back is the gray. It's a driving wide open finish. Fight Back coming through on the inside as Winning Patriot takes the lead. Photo finish. That's extremely close. Winning Patriot, Fight Back, really had some difficult time getting through there, but he is in a nose bob with Winning Patriot at the wire. It's close.
Counting today. There are only 10 live racing days here at the Great Race Place. That's right. Today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Also next week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And closing weekend, which is Father's Day weekend, we are racing live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's right. 4 racing days to close out the meet, and what a meet it's been. And I'm pleased to be joined by our seminar guest today. He's the Hispanic ambassador for Sandy to his name, George Ortuzar. George, happy Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
Happy Friday. It's great to be here with you, TQ.
It's always great to have you, George. Now, I talked about great racing, and all we have to do is look back to Memorial Day when we had 3 graded stakes races, the Shoemaker Mile, the Gamely, and, of course, the Hollywood Gold Cup. So for all those reasons, we've got great memories of the thoroughbred racing action, but you were part on Sunday of maybe the most memorable race we had over the weekend, which was the Corgi Nationals. Talk to us about it.
I love the Corgi Nationals. It's my favorite event every year. And man, I've gotten to know these dogs pretty well. You know, kind of
You
like
got the past performances.
got the past performance. I set the morning line on the dogs for the finals.
Is there gambling allowed? I've been shut out on
I
this.
don't know if there's gambling allowed, but I love setting the morning line. I was the morning line odds maker at Fresno for a couple of years, so I know.
So you know what you're doing.
A little bit about that.
You know how to balance the line, make it up to 120.
Right. But those dog races are great. They're unpredictable. It's really very exciting.
Well, speaking of that, George, rather than us talk about it, let's watch the replay of the final race for the Corgi Nationals on this past Sunday. It was an exciting race. Let's go to the gate and watch starter Andrew Arthur break them from the gate.
And they're off on the outside. Emmett explodes out of the gate. Here's Mr. Quincy very close, but I think Natty at 8-1 takes down the Summer Corgi Nationals and a piece of steak as well.
Georgie, the shortest way home is along the inside path. That's true in horse racing. That's also true in Corgi racing. The third place finisher you can see there in the green saddle towel kind of drifted out, but nevertheless, a desperate phono finish. And the one dog got up. This is a first-time winner of the event.
First time winner, and the second place dog, there was a Stewart's inquiry. I don't know, because the 5 kind of hit the right there. Right there. But that probably compromised his chances. But that was the 5-time champion, number 9, Emmett, 5-time champion.
Broke well from the
down
gate.
by Natty.
Broke well from the gate, as we can see here. Looked like he was on his way to the 6th consecutive victory.
Oh,
and then
right.
boom, right there. Little interference. No fault to the jockeys, that for sure. But nevertheless, you know what happens, George, is there's so many people who don't come to the races, who attend the Corgis. Inevitably, there's got to be a few people who bet a few dollars on the thoroughbred races.
Yeah, no question. Part obviously of having a great event like that is to expose people to our tremendous sport, and they come and they have a great time. It's the same story all the time. People who've never been here, they come in and go, I have no idea how wonderful this is. So we just love exposing our great sport, and of course the dog races are so much fun.
And there's a lot more Corgis running in the preliminaries in the infield. Before we get to that final event, they have to go through different qualifying events in order to qualify for the final event.
There's like 2 heats after every race, so there's a ton of dogs qualify. It's not easy to make the finals, you know. And but they have a great time, and what's great is even the dogs that don't do well, the owners are ecstatic to be part of it. You know, they're loving it. It's not like, oh, he didn't run well. They just love it, whether they came in first or last. It doesn't matter.
Now, speaking of having a good time, George, I mentioned next week we race Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All eyes will be on Saratoga Racecourse next Saturday, and we'll be simulcasting the Belmont Stakes race. We've got a big party planned here for Belmont Stakes Day next Saturday. There you can see a Belmont party. There's journalism with jockey Umberto Rispoli. Both jockey and horse, I can tell you, are already back at Saratoga. Umberto will not be riding here this weekend. He'll be riding exclusively at Saratoga next weekend. But one of the main events we've got next Saturday, besides the Belmont Stakes, George, is Wine Play Show. Not Win Play Show, but Wine Play Show. It's a really popular event.
Very popular event. A lot of different wines from across SoCal, so it's a very well appreciated event. A lot of people come out, they have a good time, watch the races, have a little glass of wine.
Now we've got the showdown in the Belmont Stakes between the Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty and the Preakness winner Journalism. We've also got Baeza, who finished 3rd in the Kentucky Derby. It looks like a small field. I haven't looked at the past performances yet, but gun to your head, George, who do you like in the Belmont and why?
Is Rodriguez running?
I think he is, as a matter of fact.
That's what I'm going with, this Rodriguez. If he runs, I got to, Bob Baffert, you can never underestimate him.
And Mike Smith in the cell.
And Mike Smith, and speed, speed in those. It feels to me, the longer the race, the better speed does. People underestimate, it's longer, so the closers will catch him. No, speed horses do really well, and I think he's got a chance to upset. But obviously, the marquee matchup is the Kentucky Derby winner and the Preakness winner, and it's going to be exciting. And there's also a Fiesta de Santa Anita that
right
day.
Up your alley.
Oh, man, that's a fantastic mariachi.
Just Fiesta makes me excited.
Just Fiesta. You put Fiesta in front of anything, and it becomes an exciting event. And there's
what's going on there?
Great dancing, cultural dances. I love the pageantry of it all. Lucha Libre. They got wrestling there.
So this will be in the infield.
In the infield. It's really 400 classic cars are going to be there as well. It's just going to be a fantastic event as well. I can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be just incredible, especially, a lot of times the Belmont is not exciting if there's not a Triple Crown winner still alive. But this year, for some reason, there's so much excitement. It's the rubber match between those two, some other ones. what a great weekend coming up here on June 7th.
Whether you call it a fiesta or a party, Santa Anita is the place you want to be next Saturday for the Belmont Stakes. Keep in mind, the running of the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga will now be at the distance of 1.25 miles, not 1.5 miles. We're going to take a quick break. Get track announcer Frank Miramati involved in the conversation. He's going to tell us who scratched on today's card. When we return, we'll find out who George likes on the 9-race card. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf out 30 feet. Here are the early changes. Race numbers 1 and 2 each carry 2 pounds over. Scratch number 5, Copper Luna. Early pick 5, as always, starts with the first. In the second race, no changes. The all-turf pick 3 starts with the third today on races 3, 5, 9. No changes. Pick 6 begins. First leg is the fourth. Scratch 7, Firecracker Molly. Scratch number 8, Johann's Candy. 7 and 8 out of the fourth. The late pick 5 begins with race 5. Number 4, Aguila Azul, 2 pounds over. In the 6th, scratch 4, Distant Fleets. Scratch number 9. My Ransom, 4 and 9 out of the 6th. Late pick 4. $3 late pick 3 begins with race 7. Blinker no. Late double starts with the 8th. It's a $5 wager with great payoffs. No changes. And in the 9th race, Blinker Note and Super High 5 wagering. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we offer the Coast to Coast Pick 5. It's back today in an hour and a half with Gulfstream's 8th. Enjoy your afternoon at the Great Race Place. Post time for the opener in 58 minutes at 1 p.m. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest today, Mr. George Ortuzar. Giorgio.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with George Ortuzar. He is the Hispanic ambassador for Santa Anita. And George, before we take a look at today's 9-race card, I've had you on the show before, and I refer to you as a Thorograph disciple because you feel naked unless you don't have the Thorograph sheets in front of you. Talk to us about why they're so valuable as a handicapping tool.
I love them, and I use them every day. They're the key to all my handicapping. Of course, other aspects of analyzing races are important, but Thorograph sheets they take into account so many things: lengths lost, if they're going wide, and so forth. So I think it is an indispensable tool, and I've been using it, and since everybody's got buyer figures now, so you really can't find value there. But every now and then you get some great value with the Thorograph, and you can go to thorograph.com and find out more.
Does Thorograph have numbers on the Corgis?
They don't know. We gotta work on that.
Like a phone call to New York and get them back in place. All right, Georgie, let's take a look at today's 9-race card. Kicking things off in race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. Race 1 is a split of race number 5, meaning it has the same conditions, and those conditions are maiden special weight, 2-year-old filly sprinting 5 furlongs in the turf course. The rails today on the turf course are at 30 feet. Scratch the 5, Copper Luna, leaves us with a field of 5. The morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 6-5 is the first-time starter on the bottom, number 6, Queen Bay. Now, what makes analyzing this race a little bit tricky, George, is none of these runners have worked on the turf course. So the only works we can show are those that are on the main track. So I want to show at least 2 workouts, one for 2 different runners. The first workout we're going to show is for number 4, Glass Heart. This is a main track team gate drill back on May 4th. As we watch, Glass Heart is going to be the one in the white blinkers, actually trailing out of the gate. but quickly recovers and looms up out here on the outside. As you can see by the final time, is a very quick time, 4 furlongs, 47.20. One thing I like, George, about Glass Heart, besides this actual workout video, courtesy of our friends at firsttv.com, is trainer Ryan Hansen only has 3 published works for this filly since she came here on track at Santa Anita. You can see the others have a more extensive work tab. I like when trainers put their runners into a race for their career start with very limited works. This filly, this daughter of Bo Liam, is a perfect example of that. We know she's got early speed. We don't know if she's necessarily going to like the turf course. Adrian Escobedo always is the go-to rider for trainer Ryan Hansen. That's one good workout. I think you would agree.
Yeah, excellent, especially if you almost dwelt at the start, broke really slowly and still made up some ground and really gave it her all. So be interesting. It's the first 2-year-old race on the turf for 2-year-olds. So be interested to see how Glass Heart does.
Before we get your picks in the race, Georgie, one more workout to show. It's for the current favorite on the outside, number 6, Queen Bay. This is another team track drill. This was just back on May 25th, earlier this week, and that's Queen Bay down the inside. Now, she might not be as quick as what we just saw with Glass Heart, but nevertheless, she does possess some early speed. I always like when first-time starters break from the inside and have some pressure on the outside and are able to sustain it. And as you can tell, going to the final chapter of the book before we actually get there, you can see that Queen Bay outworks Angelica Bay basically by a 1/5 of a second. So another good, solid work for a good first-time starter trainer, Simon Callahan. I kind of like the outside post as well, even though it's a quick run into the clubhouse turn. It's just, into the far turn. It's just a field of 5. But again, I think the action she's taken now, she's dropped to the second choice at 2-1. I think you could justify it off this workout, George.
Oh, I like this one a lot, and I like the outside post. And these, it's only 5, so it's not like she's going to be losing a lot of ground at all. So I'd like the work a lot, and in fact, she's going to be my top pick.
You also like number 1, Two Mountains, one of a few Calbreds in the race. Been working crosstown at Los Alamitos, so we don't have workout video. But what did you like about her?
Well, I mean, obviously the Queen Bay. One of the main reasons I like Queen Bay too is because they paid $350,000 for her. I mean, that is a whopping amount. So they expect big things, and looking at that workout is great. So now the other ones, Glass Heart, some of the other ones, nothing kind of sticks out, but the Tomlinson number for Two Mountains is 363, is the best turf Tomlinson number by far. And, I really put a lot of credence into those numbers. So the best bred for the turf, and I don't know about the breeding. I mean, Hall Finch and Kylakey, from Great Britain and Ireland. But Tomlinson, they know. And the best bred, Sergio Morfin, is a really, really good trainer. And so just throwing him in as a long shot. In fact, the longest shot on the board, strictly because of the Tomlinson number.
Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. It's a restricted starter allowance race for fillies and mares. We've got a field of 8. Number 2, Auditory, first off the claim and fresh off victory for trainer Andrew Harris, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. 8 ways you can go here, George. Which way you going and why?
Well, I'm going with Auditory. Just a wow, what a race! What a win last time out. Obviously bet heavily at the windows. I was supposed to win like that, but earned the 12, which was a really good Thurgraph number. Claimed out of that race, and first off the claim, Andrew Harris. He's an excellent trainer. There's not a whole lot of stats first off the claim, but he's just such a good trainer. I expect Auditory to run that race again.
You also like Chalima, who's 4-1 on the morning line. What did you like about her?
Well, even though this is, a low kind of level race, Chalima has been running against some hard knocking, $10,000 claimers, $8,000 claimers, and so this is almost like a drop in class. But the last race, I think, quick race at Los Alamitos is going to set her up. And I think she's going to run really well.
Let's take a look at race 3, George. We're back on the turf course. This time we're going 1 1/8 miles. It's for $30,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime. Number 1, Kawasaki, is the 6-5 morning line favorite. Trainer Richie Baltas celebrates his birthday today. We'll see if Richie can actually get a birthday present in race number 3. Also, take note that race 3 today begins the $3 all turf pick 3, a little bit of an unusual early start. $3 all turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout, as I mentioned, does start in race number 3. Before we get your thoughts on the race, George. 3 of these 5 runners exit the same race. This race was back on May 2nd, and specifically Kawasaki, Baldoro, and the runner on the outside, American Empire, will be in this replay we're about to watch. This replay was at a distance of 1 mile. As I mentioned, today's distance is 1.1 miles. As we listen to Frank Mirmati describe the action, I want you to pay attention to number 2, Kawasaki, in this replay. You'll see as they're basically mid-stretch, he loses all chance of winning, but watch the gallop out as well. So let's listen to Frank Mirmati describe the action back on May 2nd and watch Kawasaki break from post position number 2.
And they're off. Baldoro and Kawasaki are the first 2 out of the gate. They're joined by Bruckner, and there goes Bruckner sprinting up to take the lead. Hudson Ridge is in the mix in the early going, followed by Hula Candy and American Empire at the back of the field. So it will be Bruckner crossing over and leading the way around the clubhouse turn. Down on the inside, it's Baldoro with Hudson Ridge now taking that second spot. Hula Candy is in 4th, 3 lengths off the lead. Kawasaki now 5th with 5 to make up and 2 in front of American Empire. Onto the backstretch, and it's Bruckner, 3/4 of a length. Hudson Ridge second, Baldoro at the rail, just in front of Hula Candy. Then Kawasaki and American Empire, 6 lengths front to back. There's a half mile left to go, and it's Bruckner in front. 3/4 of a length to Hudson Ridge. Baldoro down at the rail. Hula Candy, 3 off them in 4th. Kawasaki and American Empire. They're covered by 6 or 7 lengths as Hudson Ridge puts the pressure on Bruckner, who's been in front. Those 2 stride for stride. Baldoro's had a good trip just behind them in the yellow colors 3rd. Hula Candy, Kawasaki inching right into contention with the pink cap. They're at the top of the stretch. It's Hudson Ridge, tackled by Baldoro. Kawasaki looking for room, coming toward the inside. Hudson Ridge in front with a furlong left to go. Kawasaki, Baldoro attacking on both sides. Hudson Ridge just keeps digging. Kawasaki just hit the rail, and it is Hudson Ridge. Now Baldoro second. Hudson Ridge wins it.
George, as we watch the gallop out, there's our friend Kawasaki with the pink helmet down on the inside, basically trying to get caught back up with Hudson Ridge, who was declared the winner of the race. As we saw, mid-stretch, Kawasaki tried to go through a hole that closed, bounced off the rail, and still ran quite admirably. There's a lot of different ways you can go here based upon how you evaluate that replay. Who do you like in race 3?
Well, that replay, I had watched it. I watched the race live, I remember, and going, wow. I mean, he hit the rail pretty strong.
He sure did. If you watch the head-on, you can see it even more dramatically.
I saw the head-on, very dramatic. And he was riding a 2-race win streak, going for the hat trick, and I think would have gotten the hat trick that day if not for that trouble in deep stretch. So Kawasaki and Ayuso's been riding great.
Tremendous.
Oh my goodness, Ayuso's doing fantastic.
Breath of fresh air, new face in the jockey colony, relatively speaking, and producing results.
Kawasaki, let the good times roll. I think Kawasaki is going to make amends for that last race and win. And Baldoro ran great, good enough to be the second pick.
And Leonard Powell reclaimed Baldoro certainly back in winning form, finishing a good second in that replay we just saw. Race number 4 is when the $2 pick 6 begins today, and we kick that wager off, sprinting 5.5 furlongs the main track for maiden claiming Calbred fillies and mares in for a $12,500 tag. The bottom 2 runners, 7 and 8, have both been scratched out of the race, leaves us with a field of 6. Number 2, Charm Dream from the Sean McCarthy barn is the 8-5 morning line favorite on a 2-race play streak, but not a win streak up to this point. Is today Diploma Day for Charm Dream?
I hope not, because I'm not using Charm Dream anywhere. So I think that he ran good, a couple of seconds, pretty much against this level or even easier. So nothing that impressed me. And the third numbers are nothing spectacular either. However, Go Cami O, number 6, who's going to be my top pick, took that all-important drop from maiden special weight to maiden claiming and it threw in a clunker, but it was a mile. Ran well. She ran well like halfway through the race. I think she's really going to appreciate the cutback in distance, the class, the numbers that she earned at the third graph numbers in those maiden special weights against tougher were significantly better than anybody else. So she's going to be my top pick, and hopefully we'll get a price. And again, I'm not sold on Charm's Dream, so I'm going to try to beat her even for second with Oscar Knight, a first-time starter. Hector Palma does great with the first-time starters, and I think Oscar Knight might outrun her odds and maybe make the exacta.
As mentioned previously, race number 5 is a split of race number 1. Race 5 also begins the 50-cent late pick 5. So we're sprinting 5 furlongs on the turf course for maiden special weight 2-year-old fillies. We've got a field of 6. Take note, the jockey number 2 got the ring. Kendrick Carmouche in town this weekend because he is the recipient of the George Wolf Award tomorrow right here at St. Anita. Good to see him in town riding this entire weekend. We've got a field of 6. Number 5, La Vie Lumiere is the 6-5 morning line favorite. Ran a winning race last time out, but hooked a Doug O'Neill monster. Now goes on turf for career start number 2. What say you about race 5, George?
La Vie Lumiere was looking good in that race. And as you mentioned, ran into a monster who took all kinds of money late and light one up, just lit up the track with a superlative effort. Best thoroughgraph number in the race, obviously La Vie Lumiere coming in second. They paid $475,000 for her, and I think that she's obviously going to run well. Bred good enough for the turf, nothing spectacular, but good enough. Got the ring. You mentioned Carmouche, and it's great to have him here. One of the top jockeys in the country, and he's aboard. Got the ring for Peter Miller, who's got some decent works, especially the one on May 17th, and they paid $130,000 for her, and I think she's going to run well. And Cara Rose is going to run well as well. But La Vie Lumiere on my Santa Anita Oi in the program is my best bet of the day.
Now, your Oi in the program is both in English and Spanish, so those of us who don't read Spanish can certainly, it's easily translatable in English in the program, and it's also on the website as well.
Yes, and a lot of people learn Spanish with this. I know some people who go, yeah, I go here. Oh, great. They say, corrió muy bien. Oh, now I know how to say that. So it's almost like you're learning another language.
That's awesome, George. Good for you. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're sprinting 6 furlongs the turf course. Fillies and mares in for a $16,000 tag. There are 2 scratches. Scratch the 4 and the 9. Leaves us with a field of 7. Number 8, Pratchett from the Mike Pipey barn. Lightly raced 5-year-old Gelling is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 6.
I think the 2, Cupid's Crusader and Pratchett, the 2 with the first and second on the morning line, are the ones. I'm going to go with Cupid Crusader. There's nothing much between them, and so Cupid Crusader is going to be probably a little better price, and Ayuso's riding fantastic, but so is Hector Barrios. Barrios he's wonderful as well. So those 2 to me kind of stand out in the race.
Number 6, Cupid's Crusader. I want to add a couple of things that you just mentioned, George, about him. First of all, if you have the past performances in front of you, you can see he lost to Zombo Bombo. Zombo Bombo actually runs in the next race, race number 7. So you can see his past performances. The day he beat Cupid's Crusader, he's dropping out of a $32,000 claiming tag. So finishing a good 3rd for Cupid's Crusader was certainly no disgrace. Now, I know he's 1 for 15 lifetime, but he is a half brother to There Goes Harvard. There Goes Harvard is a very talented runner trained by Michael McCarthy. Mm-hmm. He's earned $764,000 in his career. What's interesting is There Goes Harvard has never sprinted in his 21 race career, but yet if you look at Cupid's Crusader's past performances, whether it's on the main track or on the turf course, I believe his best efforts are sprinting. They tried to make him a router just like his brother. He didn't live up to those expectations, obviously, but I do think he's realistically placed today. Hector Barrios in the saddle. You talked about Armando Ayuso. Hector Barrios, he's been on a heater for like a year.
Yeah, wow, what a discovery, what a find, and to come here and just take this field of jockeys by storm. He's doing fantastic, and the trainer, he's super excellent.
Race number 7 begins at $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% tag. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track for $20,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime. There's Zombo Bombo, who's 9-2 on the morning line. However, the morning line favorite is number 7, Gavia from the Dan Blacker barn, who's 5-2 on the morning line. Handicapping lesson here, George. What I like about Gavia, not necessarily that I like him to win, but I think he's a main contender, is off that poor comeback performance, I should say, last time out, going 2 turns. Hector Barrios decides to ride back. Granted, there's a big drop in class, but I always like off a very dismal performance when the jockey who rode the horse to that dismal performance comes back and rerides. I think you have to stand up and take notice. The other reason why I think you have to stand up and take notice for Gavia is that workout back on May 4th, which we'll be able to watch right now, courtesy of our friends at TV.com. This was his first comeback workout since that disastrous performance on April 6th. And although it's not super flashy, you can see he's going along very smoothly, 48 and change, like nothing significantly serious happened to him. The exercise rider is kind of up in the saddle. And I just like that basically this is his first race off that his first workout off that bad race. And it seems like nothing's amiss. And although he adds blinkers today as we're watching this workout as they turn for home. You can see he's not wearing blinkers in this workout. So since this workout, his workouts have gotten a little bit faster, and I have a feeling that's because Dan Blacker added the blinkers at that point. But Gavia is certainly a serious contender, in my opinion, in race number 7. But you have a backstory for Gavia. You know that it's a very famous racetrack in Brazil.
Yeah, it's a very famous racetrack in Brazil. My son lived in Brazil for 2 years, and he went to the racetrack. And he said it's in a great neighborhood. It's a beautiful track. It's a really fantastic.
It's a big world out there, isn't it?
Yeah, Gavia. And so they have some nicer racing there. So it's good to see this one here. And I love betting runners like this. In this case, Gavia is going to get bet, I think.
Correct.
But many times, a lot of people go, he lost his last race by 36 lengths. I'm
Even
crossing
worse.
him out.
Yeah, even worse.
He's got no chance. No, man. Those horses come back and do well and usually pay well. He might be overlooked a little bit, and maybe we might get 5-2.
It's the old ease angle, right?
Yeah.
Most handicappers gravitate away from it. I tend to embrace it, particularly if you can make sense of it, as we just saw with the workout.
And then you said like a jockey stays on after a poor performance like that. If it's like a low-level jockey, well, you know, they have to get
of course.
But this is a top jockey. He doesn't have to stay in this horse.
Correct.
So this horse is super live.
Now,
Is there another horse in this race? Number 8. Who's number 8? I can't remember that horse.
George, I'm stuck on number 8, Blue Cheese Olive. Those consistent viewers of the seminar know that. In my opinion, Blue Cheese Olive has to be one of the best workout horses in North America because I keep chasing him, and it's going to be the same thing today. Let's watch Blue Cheese Olive's workout, which is a bullet workout on April 30th. That's him down on the inside. Now, we've talked about this 1,000 times, and maybe he's just a morning glory, but you've got a heavy exercise rider on his back. He's not urging him at all. He's got company on the outside with a horse we know by the name of Western Avenue, who's a proven winner. And all Blue Cheese Olive does is toy with him. He's never going to go by him. The exercise rider looks over at him. Now, maybe Blue Cheese Olive, shrinks a little bit in the afternoon when there's a crowd in the grandstand. But I'll tell you what, and you've watched a lot of these workouts as well, George, and you've been fooled. Blue Cheese Olive at 20-1 today off this workout, 46 and change, a bullet workout, which was way back on April 30th, over a month ago. I mean, are you kidding me? This horse is just a spectacular workhorse. And today, for me, it's now or never time.
Yeah, that exercise rider, he weighed like 350 pounds. I mean, that's a big dude.
He's got sore arms trying to slow down.
Right.
He looks like a Triple Crown winner, Blue Cheese Olive. But he's in for 20 today. We'll see if today can be his friends.
I bet so much money in him at Los Al. I thought I was going to clean up. I was like, these guys don't know what's going to hit him. Blue Cheese Olive in Los Al is going to crush. I mean, just is a morning glory.
I know. We haven't given any love to your second pick in race number 7, George. That's the aforementioned number 3, Zombo Bombo. Yeah. You like him jumping up one level in class.
Yeah. And you talked about him as well. But he's certainly a contender in here, no question about it. For my man, George Papadrome was one of my favorites.
Race number 8 begins the $5 late daily double with a reduced 15% takeout. This is a really good betting race, by the way. 6 furlongs in the main track, allowance optional claiming fillies and mares, non-winners of one other than. Field of 8, number 4, Wish They All Could Be. The hard-knocking California mare is the 2-1 morning line favorite, but this is not a layup, in my opinion, by any stretch of the imagination, George.
No, not at all. In fact, he's not in my top 2. I mean, he's got a string of solid thoroughgraph numbers. She's going to be there. She's always there. She's always peppering the green. She's going to be there as well today, but I think there's some others that certainly can beat her. And one of them for sure is Margarita Girl. Sensational debut back in August of 2024. Obviously, something went amiss, but Glatt is, over like 20% with comebackers like this, gets first-time Lasix, obviously has talent. She's got talent. So she's one that can certainly win just that debut race. So we know she runs fresh. She's got plenty of upside. And who knows, like a gigantic, question mark on number 3 in my eyes, Shining Star. John Sadler, he's not like D'Amato who gets all these imports, he doesn't get that many imports, but when he does, his ROI is like 4.77, a ridiculous ROI.
And they're usually from South America, not Europe.
Right, South America.
What did I say?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, okay.
And
Just
this
checking.
one, started the career like a superstar, 4 wins in a row, and then something went wrong, but it was a grade 1. Maybe, she needed LASIK or she bled or something, and now she comes here, gets Barrios, who we've been, waxing poetic about him all day. He's a conundrum there. He's a wild card, and she might take this down.
Going back to number 6, Margarita Girl. Excellent article in today's Racing Form by the Southern California handicapper Brad Free, who talked about why Margarita Girl, a maiden, is in this non-winners of 1. Basically, what's happened is the filly and mare maiden races are not filling. Margarita Girl is ready to run, and trainer Mark Glatt thinks so highly of her that he's going to run her here in an allowance race rather than shipping her to Churchill Downs for a maiden race. So thank you to the owners and trainer of Margarita Girl, keeping her here in Southern California despite the obstacles they face running.
Can I throw in
Of course you can. Anything you want. We got lots of time.
Really quickly, because the more I look at it, an interesting long shot in this race as well is number 5 in Entrepreneurship. The Gulfstream Park races were earned excellent thoroughgraph numbers, like really good thoroughgraph numbers. A 7. Wish the Alcabee just ran a 7. And so wonderful numbers. Comes here to Santa Anita for the first time, shows speed and stops, which, we've mentioned that before. They don't persist
on the turf course.
So now, since that race, comes back with a bullet, 59-3, best of 47 that day. I think Entrepreneurship is one to maybe include in some of your wagers.
Entrepreneurship, 12-1 on the morning line, indicating that race 8 is certainly a much deeper race than number 4. Wish they all could be the morning line favorite. We close out a very good 9-race card in race number 9, offering $1 super high 5 wagering. This race is 1 mile on the turf course for maiden claiming fillies and mares in for a $50,000 tag. Field of 9, morning line favorite number 7, Inner Fury from the Phil D'Amato barn. Third start in North America. Give us a winner to close it out, George.
Well, I mean, I really think that Ready to Dare is an interesting runner for me. Strong thoroughgraph numbers throughout. Not the best. The best are Nakota's got the best thoroughgraph numbers, and it's my second choice and should be right there as well. But Ready to Dare, I mean, does that look like to you like a private sale? Because Sherman is now training and is a part owner. So even more interesting to me is those private sales as opposed to a runner that was claimed out of his last race. So new barn, new hopes, and they're hoping that this one is going to love going a mile. So I'm going to take a shot with Ready to Dare to win this race.
You also like the 0 for 13 maiden to maybe make some noise in the exact drawn on the outside. Number 9, Nakota. She has a good number, I assume?
She has the best numbers by far. It's 14, a 14, another 14. Everybody else is like in the 20s, more or less. So, the only ones with really good numbers are Nakota and Ready to Dare.
Take note of a pedigree note on number 8, Tavalar, in this race, race number 9. The dam actually was the dam of a runner who won last Friday. You don't need a long-term memory to remember, by the name of Rearm John. Rearm John won at 34-1 with Ricky Gonzalez in the saddle. So this is his half-sister, Tavalar, at 8-1, putting blinkers on with Ricky Gonzalez, who's become the king of the nightcap here at Santa Anita. Certainly is another one that you have to consider. Carla Gaines over the last 5 years with first-time blinkers on horses that have already made a previous career start. 2 for 18 at 11%. George, we could sit here all day and talk about handicapping, but unfortunately we have to go. We got to toss the microphone over to Trek announcer Frank Miramati. But before we do, one other wager to consider, and you always get involved in this, the $1 coast-to-coast pick 5. Gulfstream Park used to be your home track. You used to spend a lot of time there. The $1 coast-to-coast pick 5, as you can see, with a low 15% takeout, always pays well. We gave you the winners in races 6, 7, 8 here at Santa Anita, or so we hope. All you got to do as a handicapper is come up with the winners for Gulfstream Park, race number 8 and race number 9. That wager, as you can see on the board, begins at 1:37 p.m. Pacific time. All right, Georgie, we're on countdown. 10 days to go. Don't shed a tear. Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened. We're so happy that you're part of our team here at Santa Anita. Thanks for the insight, and best of luck with your wagers today.
Thank you so much. You guys have good luck today.
Echo those sentiments and thoughts as well. Hope you have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the races, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track conditions are brought to you by John Deere. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf out 30 feet. Nothing new to report. Here are the changes. In the first, number 1, 2 Mountains, 2 over, and 2 Can You Dream, 2 pounds over. Scratch number 5, Copper Luna. No changes in the second. No changes in the third, but it does start the all-turf pick 3 a little earlier than most days. Starts with race 3 today. In the fourth, first leg of the pick 6, scratch 7, Firecracker Molly, scratch 8, Johann's Candy. Race 5, late pick 5 begins. 4, Aguila Azul, 2 pounds over. Race 6, scratch 4, Distant Fleet, scratch 9, My Ransom, 4 and 9 are out. In the 7th, we start the late pick 3. 8th race kicks off the late double. And the 9th has super high 5 wagering and just the blinker note. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. They'll be at the gate for the first in 27 minutes at 1 p.m.